What's up, everybody? This is Chris Sarai bringing another edition of the Car Concierge Show, the show that helps with the buying, selling, maintaining, and repairing of your vehicle. On today's show, we're going to head over to Indiana and show our respects for a deputy that lost his life when he was helping a person stranded on the side of the road. After that, we're going to head over to the Ford CEO as he talks about the lack of skilled laborers in our country right now. And last but not least, we're going to talk about something I've been talking about a lot lately, and where, people riding on buses and trains and all those things is how safe they are. But we're going to talk about a situation where a train driver fell asleep at the wheel, as it were, and almost caused a crash. All right, so let's jump into it. First off, we're going to head over to Indiana, my home state, and check out a situation where a deputy was killed when he was on the side of the road helping a person that was in the midst of a crash.
Corporal Blake Reynolds is a 4-year veteran of the Delaware County Sheriff's Office. Around 3:30 this morning, he stopped to help a stranded semi-truck driver on Interstate 69 near mile marker 247. Indiana State Police say Corporal Reynolds pulled over with lights flashing on the right side of the interstate and was outside of his patrol car when he was struck by the driver of a Prairie Farms truck. You can see his patrol car was pushed from the impact off the interstate through the fence and onto County Road 900. He was treated on scene and taken to a nearby hospital, but died from injuries. The Prairie Farms truck driver was airlifted to Ball Memorial Hospital for surgery. ISP says the driver that Corporal Reynolds was helping was not injured. Dash cameras in Corporal Reynolds' vehicle are being used in this investigation. Now, Corporal Reynolds just married his wife, Allison, in June of 2025. The Delaware County Sheriff's Office describes him as being known for his unwavering dedication to duty, his compassion for others, and his deep commitment to serving the people of Delaware County. The Delaware County Sheriff's Office asks for prayers during this difficult time.
The Indiana State Police is here to support Delaware County Sheriff's Department any way we can. I know we have troopers that are out responding to calls right now just to give this department time to mourn the loss of their colleague. And our thoughts and prayers are with them, but they're going through a tough time right now.
Interstate 69 is no longer shut down, but ISP reminds drivers to move over when there is a disabled vehicle or first responder. Reporting in Delaware County, I'm Rachel Wilkerson, WRTV.
Truly unfortunate for that young man to lose his life while he was doing his job and helping somebody else that was struggling with a situation at the time. Our prayers go out to him and his family, his new wife. It's truly, truly unfortunate. And to think about Indiana, and of course, they haven't come out with what caused the accident, what happened with the Prairie Farms truck driver that happened to hit him, if he was, under the influence or anything like that. But it's Indiana, and as you can see by the pictures, there's snow on the ground. So snow, icy roads. It could very well be a situation where the gentleman didn't cause to hit the deputy, didn't mean to cause the accident or cause the death of this young man, and it could truly be an accident. Slippery roads, ice roads is always a bad thing in Indiana. One of the things you really hate because, it's something that you can't control. You try to buy the best car and you try your best to maintain it. Now, I talk a lot about maintenance on these vehicles, and I get that truly from living in Indiana, knowing that if you have bald tires and you're going to go through winter, you're going to have a crash. Bald tires is not going to assist you on icy roads, on snowy roads. Maintenance on your vehicle is so important, specifically in areas that have such problems like snow and icy highways and torrential rain, anything like that. Even here in California, where we don't have those things most times, you still have to maintain your vehicles and make sure that they stop on time, to make sure you have the ability to move over correctly. And to keep people safe as much as you try to keep yourself safe. You have to think about the other people around you. Now, I always say, you know, tires are expensive, maintenance on your vehicle is expensive, but it's a very important expense that you need to take care of. You know, it's a necessity. You have to do it. It's almost, in a lot of cases, life or death. Because truly, it would seem like, I mean, I don't know. The man could have been, you know, drunk, under some kind of drug, and then caused the accident. We don't know that yet. So I'll definitely update it later on when we get a little bit more information. But truly, in my mind, I think this was probably just an accident. The Prairie Farms truck driver didn't mean to do that. I'm pretty sure he didn't mean to kill the young man. That goes without saying. But yes, you know, when you get into situations where you have these icy roads and snow on the ground, please make sure that you're maintaining, at the very least, your tires. I'm going to say brakes too, but then, you know, people can't really work on their brakes. And, of course, these things are getting expensive. So, you know, you can find you a mom and pop shop or something, get your brakes done. Just maintain your vehicle, so you try your best to keep everybody that's on the road around you as safe as possible, and at the same time keeping yourself safe and avoiding, you know, unnecessary, unfortunate loss of life. So prayers go out to this deputy over in Indiana, and hopefully, you know, they establish what happened, you know, and give his new wife and family some closure. All right, so let's keep going. Next up, we're going to check out the Ford CEO. We talk about him a lot. When Jim Farley talks, most people listen. He's very influential. People really like him as a Ford CEO. He's made some mistakes, granted, but he's done fairly a good job with Ford. Of course, I'm a Ford guy, so he's done a fairly good job with Ford. But what we're finding out is that he has a decent opinion on a lot of things. And one of those things, of course, is skilled labor. And he's talking about, you know, mechanics, you know, any kind of technicians that will be working up in dealerships and stuff like that. But, of course, I'm talking about pretty much all skilled labor. So let's check him out as he talks about the lack of skilled labor that we have in our country right now.
You don't think we have enough skilled labor? I mean, interestingly, Hyundai obviously was effectively importing its own labor at one point.
Yes. Oh, no, it's unbelievable how...
And that is true. I mean, you know, and I don't know how they got away with that. You remember that they had the big, the ICE crackdown on the Hyundai dealership, established that all those people were from Korea, or I don't remember where, from Korea or something like that, and they were illegals. You know, when President Trump decided that he was going to get these places to build these factories and plants here, Hyundai, Honda, and all these other places to build these factories here, the whole idea of it was that they would be built and they would be manned and be powered by people from our country. But if we have a massive lack of skilled laborers in our country, then of course, what you gonna do? So he's gonna talk about, matter of fact, let me go ahead and let y'all keep on listening to this, and we'll talk about it after.
Chronic the shortage of skilled labor is in this country. We don't have vocational schools. There's no apprentice programs. This is a huge crisis at the country. If you ask your local plumber and electrician, you know, who is their next generation? They'll say, I don't know. And we have to solve that problem. These are small businesses that don't have a lot of resources. If we don't help them, we are going to be in trouble as a country. We're already suffering on the construction side considerably. You know, we have to build all these data centers, but there's no people to do it so far. A lot of construction companies here today because we have to solve this problem.
I mean, so true. I mean, you can't argue with anything he's saying. And we live in this world where back when I was a kid, you in a lot of cases, you wanted to be the plumbers. Not much a plumber. I'm gonna go against that. You want to be a mechanic. That's why I am the car concierge. You wanted to be a mechanic. Mechanics, worked on everybody's cars. Everybody depended on them, and they made good money. Mechanics, even back then, were making fairly good money. Depending on where they worked, who they worked for, blah blah blah. They could make really good money as a mechanic. So a lot of people back then became mechanics. I have a lot of friends that are mechanics. I have a lot of friends that are plumbers, electricians, all of these things, but it started to go away after my generation. A lot of people started doing other things, entrepreneurship, selling luxury goods, the internet, social media. All these things are taking the skilled workers away from it. And on top of that, the more problematic thing is that what he said was that they took all these programs and aptitudes that you could get in high school, college, and in a lot of cases for free. They took all those away. Is there even shop in high school anymore? I know they don't have home economics anymore. They don't teach these skills anymore. There used to be major avenues where a person could go from high school to getting his, electrician's certification or his plumber's certification or, any one of these things. There was an opportunity there that a person could get these things and it wouldn't cost him a lot of money. Now everything is a lot of money. Everything is going to cost you no matter what. And that is the biggest problem, is because we've pushed it to a situation where a lot of these people have to spend so much money to get these opportunities. Where are they going to get the money from? They need the opportunity to get the money. So, of course, you're talking about student loans and loans to get your electrician certification. All these people, most people don't want to take out these loans to get this done. And the problem truly is that for the longest time, there was an avenue where somebody, high school, and in college, there was avenues that you could get to these skilled labor jobs and these skilled labor certifications without having to pay lots of money. And that's the real problem. These opportunities are not there, and if they are there, they're extremely expensive for most people. And if you're starting out, of course, you're not going to have the money to do it. So he's absolutely right. We're living in a world where, the internet, social media, all these things are taking away skilled laborers. They're, mind you, and in some cases doing very well, doing other things. And a lot, I have to say that to some degree, it is that a lot of these younger people don't have the grit to do such things. Because becoming a mechanic, becoming a electrician, a plumber, those all take a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of focus to get done. And of course to do successfully, because these are jobs that you could kill yourself on. So you have to be trained very well, and of course that takes time. And that's not the world or how our younger people see the world anymore. They really see it as more of a place where they don't have to work hard. I mean, in a lot of places, these children don't even have to clean up their homes anymore. They don't have to mow the grass anymore. All these type of things, all these activities that we gave our children, or were given to us when we were children to do to keep us busy, all those things have been taken away. Electronics, social media, all these things have taken that away. It has taken away the whole situation of children going outside, riding their bikes, hanging out with their friends, going to the basketball court outside, going to the King's Center to hoop on a Saturday. And it doesn't exist anymore. And it all barrels down to the fact that children of this ilk don't exert themselves as much as other children did, because they don't have to. For lots of reasons, they just don't have to. And that is a problem. I mean, it's hurting our country. It's put us in a position where only a percentage of people is taking up all of the responsibility for everybody. Whereas back in the day, you know, you were almost, as a child, you were almost forced to stay active. And when you stayed active, you desired more activity, you desired more focus, you desired more money. So you would work harder. And that's not what the kids are doing these days. So I truly think that the best maneuver would be to try to incentivize schools or colleges or anything like that to offer these programs to at least some major, you know, discount or free. I mean, we're talking about very important schooling for our country. So I would not be, you know, against them, you know, not being having to pay for this. I would not be against them offering the learning for these skilled laborers for free, because it'll help our country. All right, last but not least, we're going to talk about a situation that happened over in San Francisco, I think, where a train operator fell asleep behind the wheel. Now, mind you, I have been talking a lot about, you know, people being safe while they, you know, are riding buses and trains and, you know, cabs, and how I'm not a big fan of, you know, the Waymos of the world and all that stuff, because it's not manned by a person who cares about their own life, who has a stake in if this vehicle doesn't crash or not. Well, this video kind of put me in my place, because I have to understand that it's all dependent on who the person is who's driving you. Let's check it out.
Look at this terrifying new video, a terrifying morning commute for some light rail passengers in San Francisco. Video from a September incident appears to show the driver falling asleep as the train picks up speed, tossing panicked passengers all around. Chief Correspondent Jonathan Hunt is in Los Angeles with more on that for us. Hey, Jonathan.
Hey, Sandra, not the kind of early morning commute anyone wants, and it could have been so much worse. It was in the middle of the rush hour, just after 8:30 in the morning, and the San Francisco light rail train was packed when passengers suddenly got thrown around as the train jolted on a curve, exiting a tunnel and traveling at around 50 miles per hour. The driver was apparently asleep at the wheel, jerked awake and began applying the emergency brake, then blamed the braking system while trying to calm passengers.
I'm sorry. Relax. We didn't crash. Relax. It wouldn't stop. Relax. We're okay.
Are we?
But a San Francisco Municipal Transportation Agency investigation concluded, quote, a full inspection of the train's braking system confirmed that it performed as designed. Additional inspections of the trackway and related infrastructure found no mechanical or systems issues. Thankfully, no one was seriously hurt in the incident. The SFMTA also says it is reinforcing training on the importance of watching for fatigue and reporting it. Not surprisingly, the train operator has been put on what officials call non-driving status. A lot of commuters grateful for that, Sandra.
Got it. Wow. Jonathan Hunt on that story.
Oh, man. Okay. So, of course, the first thing we have to talk about is that, you know, oh man, I mean, it's a dangerous world, people, that we live in, and specifically when we have to put our trust in people that we don't know, and we don't know if they can do their job correctly and are not fatigued. I mean, you know, and it was a young lady, so this lady obviously very fatigued, and we don't want to castrate her, you know, if we don't know all the facts. Maybe she was tired from working long hours at the train station. Now, mind you, I would say that as a, a GM, you need to get your damn sleep. And if you're not getting your sleep, you need to tell me so I can make arrangements that you are not causing an accident that's going to hurt people. Because then people going to sue. Them are going to sue. It's all on tape. It's all recorded. They're going to sue and they're going to get paid. And pretty much every one of them people in there could get paid from this incident. Because they're not going to sue the driver. They're going to sue the train. And the train is going to pay because the train has to pay. And it's just a bad look for pretty much everybody. It's fatigue is a real thing. We understand that. We understand that people, do a lot to survive. A lot of people have 2-3 jobs, and they don't get a lot of sleep, and they got issues at home, and that causes them not to get sleep. But this is not that. You don't have that ability. This is not a job that you can not get the correct amount of sleep and think you're going to go to work and it's going to be cool. Some jobs like that. There's definitely some jobs like that, but this is not one of them. You have to get your sleep, man. You cannot be sitting out there driving around in a train, no less, and snoozing. You better get you some coffee. You better get you a Red Bull, whatever you need. You cannot. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. As much as I want to give this person grace, it's unacceptable because you have so many people's lives in your hand. So many of those people's lives are in your hand, and you could have hurt them all. So you have to be held accountable. They've already put you on leave or whatnot. Will you be driving again? Who knows? But maybe that's for the best because you yourself, even if you are fatigued for a particular reason and it's a good reason, I'm sorry. This is not the position that you can be falling asleep at. Because you got way, way too many people's hands in your lives in your hands. Alright guys, I'm going to let y'all go and get up out of here. I am Chris Surratt. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Car Concierge Show. We're going to start giving you longer episodes, more intense subjects, all of that good nonsense. And we're just going to keep it moving. Keep it corporate. And I'm out. Peace.